Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you all the features that we have been adding to AllAi over the past couple of years. So without any further ado, let's get started. They say keep the best for last, but this feature is way too important not to start with. It's the chat feature. It's one of the most powerful and flexible features that AllAi has to offer. It allows you to do pretty much anything you want to do. One obvious use case though is to use natural language to generate code. To demonstrate that, I chose this subscribe endpoint, which takes in an email and adds it to a mailing list. Let's say I want to do something similar. I want to take in an email and remove it from the mailing list. I will simply select the piece of code I want the AI to use as a reference, and then ask it to generate an unsubscribe route. AllAi will start generating the code right away, and it will keep the same code structure, it will respect the same coding conventions and best practices I have been using in the reference code. All I need to do now is insert the code into my editor with one easy click. We can see that the AI has used this validate email function, which is defined up top here. But usually this kind of functions is defined in its own utility files, and it might have other, maybe unrelated functions along with it. And let's say whoever wrote this function maybe was in a hurry and did not name it properly. I'll rename this to unknown function, and I will remove any mention of any emails in there. I know this is kind of an extreme case, but it's to showcase our next feature, which is code explanation. To use it, I simply have to select the piece of code I don't understand, and from the drop-down menu I have to select code explanation. AllAi will now analyze that code and generate an explanation for us. We can see it went into the specifics of the implementation and broke down the regular expression into smaller chunks that it explained what each chunk is for, as well as at the end it generated a summary for the entire function as a whole. And from that we can see that this function is supposed to validate emails. Now that I understand what this function does, I can rename it myself, or better yet, I can ask AllAi to do it for me. So I'll add a comment asking it to rewrite the above function but with better naming. Then I could take it a step further and generate a docstring for it using the docstring generation feature. So in a few clicks, I can go from an unknown, undocumented function to a well-known, well-documented one. Now let's go back to the chat feature and use it to modify our existing code. So I will select my function and I will ask AllAi to change the regular expression so it only accepts emails that end with osf.digital. That was easy, but now that we changed our code, we probably need to write unit tests for it. So let's ask the AI to do that for us. I will again select my code and use the generate unit tests feature. And almost immediately, AllAi starts generating these unit tests. Once it's done, we can see that there is so much variety in the test cases. There are some valid cases, there are some invalid ones. But let's say I want to add even more cases. I can simply ask AllAi to do that for me. I will ask it to generate, for example, more valid cases, which it will happily do for us. Now let's say I'm a junior and I have never written or ran any unit tests before. I can use AllAi to assist me with that. I can ask it, how do I run these test cases? The AI will tell me all the commands I need to run and all the steps I have to take. The next feature I want to show you is code optimization. I have this simple algorithm, and while it's not incorrect, we can do better. So I will select this section and I will ask the AI to optimize it for me. AllAi will not only give me an optimized version of the code I selected, but it will also explain the changes that it made and why it did them. Finally, and before we close, we talked about how great AllAi is and the chat feature in particular, but I want to talk to you about the limitations of AI in general, the difficulties we had and how we addressed them. A common issue was hallucination. The AI, when it doesn't know the answer, it would make something up. To reduce that, we need to give more context to the AI. That's why we added this option to let the AI know exactly which project you are working on, so it will be less likely to give you something from elsewhere or something that doesn't exist altogether. Simply click down here and pick the project type you are working on from the drop-down list, which we are always expanding, by the way. Then I will apply this to my entire workspace because my entire project is just SFRA. And there you go, that's it. AllAi will be more honest from now on. Another issue was the limited context size. AllAi can only see one file at a time, so it's not aware of any functions or interfaces that you might have defined in other files. That's why we added the code indexing feature. With just one click, I can tell AllAi to analyze my code and sort of memorize it, a process which should only take a couple of minutes, after which AllAi will have a global overview of my entire project. The last problem we had to solve is the problem of honesty. How do I make sure the answers I'm getting are correct? To solve that, we enabled AllAi to browse the Salesforce documentation pages before answering your questions. And once it's done generating your answer, it will even cite its sources. All these features we have showed you work very well for any language or technology, but we have been really focusing on optimizing them specifically for Salesforce. We are also constantly adding new features specific to Salesforce, like the last one I'm about to show you, which is an SQL query builder for SFMC. To use it, simply add a connection to your business unit, authenticate your account to start the indexing process, and that's it. Now you can start a special thread where you can add your request in plain English, and AllAi will turn it into an SQL query that respects the schema that you have in your data extensions. That's all I had to show you. I hope I was able to show you at least a glimpse of what AllAi is capable of. So let us know what you think, and have a nice day.